Hey, welcome back. Today we're talking about what does JV mean in real estate. All right, if you've been a real estate investor for any length of time, chances are you've heard the term JV or joint venture bantered around. But what does that actually mean? In today's video, we're going to take a look at what does JV mean, what are the big benefits of doing joint ventures, where do you find joint venture partners, and how do you set things up for success with you and your partners. Stay tuned. All right, so what is the legal definition of a joint venture or a JV in real estate? Well, I'm not a lawyer, so make sure you get the proper legal counsel before you set one of these things up. But basically, a JV or a joint venture is a kind of a partnership. And it is a formalized kind of a partnership that has a joint venture agreement that is typically done with a lawyer. And that agreement spells out rights and responsibilities of all parties. So it's a way to formalize a partnership in a real estate transaction. And in addition to that, it's a way to share responsibilities and profits between joint venture partners. So what are the big benefits of forming or starting a JV or a joint venture? Well, number one is the pooling of experience and resources. This allows you to get into more deals or bigger deals because it's not all just little old you. Now you're joining forces with other people. People that bring capital, people that bring expertise, people that bring connections. You join forces together and you do the deal together. It also helps you to lower your risk because, again, it's not just all little old you. You're spreading out the risk usually equally amongst all of the joint venture partners. So you're spreading out the upside, but you're also spreading out the downside between all of you. So what are the different kinds of joint venture structures? Well, probably the most common kind is what's called an equity joint venture, where everybody gets a specific piece of the pie. So let's say there are 5 people involved. Well, let's keep it simple. Let's say there are 3 people involved in a joint venture deal. Each person would get 1/3 of the equity in that deal unless you otherwise negotiate things. So it's very, very simple to split up the equity between the joint venture partners. Another type is contractual joint ventures. So this isn't based so much on equity. It's based more on a contract of who's going to do what, when, and how. And that's how revenues and that's how fees are divided up that way. Next thing you want to look at are legal agreements and considerations. So very, very important. I cannot stress this enough, is that you invest some money in a good real estate lawyer and a good joint venture agreement, because so many mistakes have been made by not anticipating potential fallouts between partners. So make sure that you've got a very tight joint venture agreement, and the bigger the deal and the larger number of partners, typically the more expensive the joint venture agreement is going to be. In fact, I remember one that we did years ago for doing a 54-unit apartment building, and there were 5 partners altogether in that deal. And I believe, if memory serves me correctly, that getting the joint venture agreement put together cost around $18,000. However, it was a very, very good, robust agreement that could be reused for future deals with some modifications. So you might have to pay some big bucks at the beginning to get one done that's really good. Smaller deals, typically not that much. But you don't want to just pull something off the internet or make something up or work with a real estate or an attorney that's not really focused on real estate investing, because you want to make sure that your agreement anticipates as much as humanly possible. Think of it as a prenuptial agreement. I mean, it's kind of like you're getting into a marriage of sorts with your joint venture partner. So you want to hope for the best, but you want to prepare for the worst. And if you need to get out of it or something comes up, you want that agreement to be very clear about what will happen. Okay, next you want to look at finding and evaluating joint venture partners. So where do you find joint venture partners? Well, start out with your existing network of connections. And it really depends on what kind of partners we're looking to bring on to your deal. So for example, if you're looking for a joint venture partner with a lot of experience in doing the kind of deals that you want to get into, then go out to your local RIAs or real estate investment clubs, mix and mingle, and meet people that are at a higher level than you are, who are doing the kind of deals that you want to do, and then join forces with them. If you're looking for more passive joint venture partners who perhaps bring equity, bring capital, and bring qualification and credit to the table, then you could be looking within your existing network of friends, family members, coworkers, business associates. That's a great place to start. Dial in and figure out who do you know already who has what you're looking for in a partner. Okay, next thing you want to look at is managing and operating the joint venture once it's up and running. This is really important. This is part of the reason why it's so important to have a really good joint venture agreement that expressly lays out who's responsible for doing what and what the consequences are if they don't live up to their end of the agreement. So many partnerships of all kinds go down the tubes because there's a misunderstanding about who's supposed to be doing what, when, and how. So make sure you've got that clearly laid out and manage things. Meet with people. Have regular meetings with your joint venture partners throughout the deal. Clear communication is the key. And as soon as there is a sniff of a challenge or a problem or a setback, make sure that you communicate that with everyone involved so you take care of it very, very quickly. Don't let things fester. Jump on top of it right away. There's great examples all over the places of joint ventures that have worked well and joint ventures that haven't worked well. One example of one that didn't work well sticks in my mind. I interviewed a lady a while ago on my podcast, and she was talking about her first joint venture that just went terribly wrong. And the reason it went wrong was because they did not have clear expectations and a formal joint venture agreement written up, first of all. So her assumption was, I think it was with a family member or an in-law that she got into this deal with, and her assumption was that they were both going to be doing equal amounts of work. Well, it turned out, like many partnerships, that she ended up doing way more of the work than her joint venture partner. That led to hard feelings. That led to them wanting to split up during the deal. That led to them having to sell the property at an inopportune time. And bottom line, it ended up completely affecting their outside business relationship. I think they were in-laws, so that really soured their personal relationship as well. All of that could have been avoided with a really good joint venture agreement, clear expectations up front, and figuring out right from the get-go if the deal didn't fit for both of them, not to do it. It's better not to get into the deal, not to bring on a joint venture partner, than to bring on the wrong partner. All right, so hopefully you found this helpful. If you're looking for more tips, tricks, strategies, and ideas on finding joint venture partners, I got you covered with my book, Money Partner Formula: How to Raise 6 Figures in a Matter of Weeks, 7 Figures in a Matter of Months, even if you're starting from scratch with zero previous capital raising experience. Go ahead, grab your free copy at investorattractionbook.com or click on the link in the description below.